All righty. All right. So now, for the last segment of today's lesson, so we have a bunch of questions right here. It's really a good variety of stuff, and it's the major challenge of this part. I hope it's not about rewriting or simplifying the radicals. Okay, I mean that's really no, a level one part. The challenge of these questions is that are you seeing and interpreting what's being asked? What's presented to you in front of you. Okay. And I'm going to highlight what's there. For questions like number 10 through 14, I hope you can see that we have all these square roots, all these radicals. They are multiplying each other. Okay. For question 15 through 19, I hope you can see that these are numbers, okay, with radicals. They are adding or subtracting each other. And they are very, well, I mean, one is multiplication, the other one is adding and subtracting. They are different. So I want to make sure that you can tell the difference and you do not make any stupid, careless mistakes while you are handling these questions. Okay. So I'm going to go over a few of them here because I don't want to bore you with all these lengthy explanations. So I am going to do number 10. All right. I am going to do number 11. I am going to do number 13. Okay. I am going to do number, what is it? 15 and 18. All right. So 5 questions. Okay. And then we call it a day. So number 10. Okay. Now, what we do is that we always try to get into the imaginary number form first. Now, some of you might question and we say, hey, Mr. Chan, can we just go ahead and multiply the two numbers underneath the square root? Well, for any other numbers, you could, but with this kind of situation, you cannot. I repeat, you cannot. All right. You have to. You have to. Okay. That was the question that I asked myself and I asked my teacher, and I try to do it, and it's going to be wrong answer every single time. I promise you. So don't even waste time to do it. Okay. I did it for you already. So in this case, I would like what we did in level one, we separate the negative h, well, I mean square root of -1 from square root of -h, all right? So I'm not going to waste time walking through the simplification. So square root of -8, it's going to be 2i root 2, okay? If you need help on explaining why, you can go back to level 1.1, okay? So uh, next up, the second radical here, it's square root of -32. So you have well, 32 is 16 times 2, right? So 4i root 2. Okay, 4i root 2. That gives us 8i squared times 2 because root 2 times root 2 is 2. And we know 8 times 2 is 16, and we also know that I squared is -1. So that means we have 16 times -1, which gives us -16. Okay, so very easy. Okay, just make sure that you know you have to change the number to an imaginary number first. That is non-negotiable. Next up, we have root 18, which is 3i root 2. And just like what we did back in level 1.1, we can actually break down the root 6 into root 3 and root 2. And we do that because we see something right here, don't we? Okay, so root 2 times root 2 is simply 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 6i squared, and then we have 1 root 3 remaining. And we know that I squared is -1. So the answer is -6 times root 3. Okay, so pretty much same thing as what we did last lesson. It's just now we have a little I. That's the extra. What about 13? Well, we kind of scaled it up one notch. So we have this, we have I'm gonna go ahead and break this down first, okay? Because I can see root 2 from appearing. And then I'm going to do this as well, just in case. Never know. So yeah, that's what I would do. I'm not going to break it down to square root of -1 and write it down explicitly. I'm just going to go straight to the I and place it in front of the square root. Okay. So I can see that square root of 2 times square root of 2, it's 2. We got 3 of the i's here. So we have 2i cube, okay? And what's left? We have these 3 numbers left, and they are not going to make any kind of simplification anymore. So we can simply multiply them all together. Like 3 times 5, it's 15. 15 times 2 is 30, okay? And I cube, it's -I. So you've got this as your final answer, -2i times square root of 30. Okay, that's your final answer right there. Okay. Now, what about 15 and 18? Okay. Now, for 15 and 18, they're not that hard. They're not. They're really not. So same thing as we did earlier. Just go straight ahead and make it a imaginary number first. Okay. And if you remember from the last lesson how it was difficult to, if you remember this, let me just bring it back. It was this. I remember it was this. Let me bring it back here. Was it here? Yeah, this was the one, right? I was talking about in elementary school, you learn how to add apples together, right? 1 apple plus 5 apples, you get 6 apples. And then in middle school, algebra 1, we talked about how you have a plus 5a is equal to 6a. And then now we are taking the abstraction a bit further. We say, hey, root 3 plus 5 root 3 is 6 root 3. And then coming back to here, well, how do you know it's a like term or not? Well, I root 3, it's a thing, right? So we have I root 3 as a thing. So we have 1 I root 3 plus 7 I root 3. Well, guess how many I root 3 we have? 8 I root 3. That's it, right? Easy, easy. Okay, so you do the same for number 16 and 17. Easy. Okay, number 17, you might need to do a little bit more work. Okay, but you get there. All right, but what about number 18? We say, number 18, all right? So we have I root 2 plus 2i root 2, because 2 root 2 is square root of 8. Okay, so, and then we have what? 4i root 2, because 32 is 16 times 2, right? And then now you have all these 3 together. And you have 1 of the I root 2 plus 2 of the I root 2s, and then 4 of the I root 2s, right? So altogether you have 7 of them, 7 I root 2s. Okay, so again, you're seeing like terms. Okay, that's how you know it's a like term. Okay, when you see they are exactly identical and you have a number sitting right in front of it, that's how you know it's a like term. Okay, all right. So it's really straightforward. It's not that hard. Okay, it's an imaginary number that we have to deal with for now. And then tomorrow we'll see a little bit more in the next lesson. Okay, so good luck. Finish your homework, and please do finish your homework. If not, you're just gonna hurt yourself. Okay, so I'll see you tomorrow.